Hi everyone, I'm Evangeline right here at etrailer. Today we're going to be reviewing the BioLite BaseCharge 600 Portable Power Station. This is going to be a very relatively lightweight, compact, but also surprisingly durable power station. Great for those weekend trips, camping trips, hanging out in your teardrop camper, whatever type of adventure you're going on. Now, there are different options for portable power stations, especially here at etrailer. We're going to talk through those different options and see what features of this might be the best fit for you and your journey. To set the scene, I have used a bunch of different power stations and I grabbed different ones depending on what type of adventure I go on. So I actually went on a winter camping trip where it was just me solo adventuring and I had a rooftop tent. So this smaller power station was actually perfect for that because it was lightweight enough where I could lift it up and into the tent, and I was able to power the lights that I had underneath. So what was important there was going to be the size of the power station, the capacity. Was it large enough in order to power the things I needed, for example my lights, and did it have the correct ports for what I needed powering? So those are things that you need to consider real quick before you look at your power stations, and that will guide you through that process. How much power do you actually need? This is the BaseCharge 600, which stands for around 600 watt-hours. Technically, the cell capacity is a little bit more than that, and if you're curious about how much power different items actually draw, check out our etrailer solar calculator, which is a super useful tool for planning out your power draw and your power or solar panel needs. But to make a long story short, this is going to be great for weekend trips when you are charging your phones, you're charging your laptop, you're charging your drones, your action cameras, things like that. Most of what you would need for media, social, and just normal phone life will be able to be powered by the 600 watt-hour power station. One of my personal favorite things about this is going to be the port selection to plug things in, because you have a pretty modern selection of ports. You have your old standard DC ports, which is going to be your 12-volt power, pretty typical for your plugs that you usually plug into your vehicle. You can plug those right into here. But then you also have your AC ports, and this is something that I used a lot for when my friends would bring like their home air mattresses that need to be plugged in order to inflate. But things like coffee pots and laptop chargers were also used here. Up top, you have your USB ports. I personally am very particular about these because here you have two USB-A ports, but then you also have USB-C ports, and BioLite takes it another step further where you can also charge your system with a USB-C plug. So that's going to be something you won't see on older style power stations. And then up top, you do have a wireless Qi charger. So for phones with wireless charging capabilities, you just set that on there and it charges those up too. The display is pretty straightforward and intuitive. You can actually turn off the display if you're using this at night and the lights bother you. You can turn it on, and it's pretty bright. I can see it pretty well in this brightly lit studio. So up top, you have hours until empty to just give you a good idea of how long this will last with whatever you have is plugged in. And then in the top right corner, you see your input as well as your output watts. So how much watts is being put out by charging my phone wirelessly. You have the amount of battery right there in the center, and you also have just a history of how much power has been used by your power station. So you can turn that off and on, and then you also have other indicators of things like when you plug things in. For example, the charger is connected, and it goes ahead and tells you that. Batteries are always interesting in that a lot of numbers and specs are for a perfect and ideal situation, but you're not always in an ideal situation. But overall, this still works really great when it comes to holding charge as well as charging up. This includes an AC wall outlet plug. So this is one that can plug right into the wall. And then the other end has an HPP plug. And that's going to be the plug that BioLite likes to use for all of their accessories. So this is also something that you would be using if you were to charge your system with a solar charger. I've seen a lot of people use portable solar panels lately, especially the 100-watt ones, like what we have from etrailer. And whichever panel you use, just double check your plugs and make sure it is compatible with the BioLite power station. BioLite uses HPP plugs on all of their solar panels. I had to go grab an MC4 to HPP adapter in order to use this, but with all that put together, I am able to power or charge our station here with a solar panel. Let's talk about numbers real quick. If you had this plugged into the wall, your power station would charge from 0 to 80% in about 2.5 hours. If I was to use this 100-watt panel in an ideal world with full sunlight, full power, things like that, I would be able to charge to 80% in about 5 hours, 100 watts per hour to charge up to 600 watt hours. So again, our solar calculator is very helpful if you really want to get down to the nitty-gritty when it comes to math, but it's pretty easy to just set this up for the day and get yourself all charged up for the night. For most of my adventures, this is actually the power station that I tend to bring along just because it's lightweight and compact enough where even if I don't think I'm gonna need an entire power station, this one's just really easy to toss into the vehicle. It's also the one, when you compare all the other power station options, the one that's more ideal for camping. It has this really sleek look, but it's surprisingly rugged. It's tested for being able to handle the vibration and movement of, again, getting carried around in a car or being moved around the campsite. The one downside to the BaseCharge 600 is really going to be that capacity. Because I go on rock climbing weekend trips with friends. I don't need much capacity, just enough to maybe inflate a mattress, charge our phones, things like that. But if it's gonna be like a week of camping or a week and a half of boondocking or in a boat, I would start looking at something with more capacities like the BaseCharge 1500. That one is available here at eTrailer. If you're curious about that, check those out or the other power stations we do have available. But for something that's straightforward, intuitive, easy to throw into your vehicle or into your trailer and can handle pretty much any normal situation you may throw at it, this is a pretty good option worth looking into. And if you have any other questions, well, we have our descriptions, our pictures, all the specs and measurements right here on our website to check out. But today, this was a look at the BioLite BaseCharge 600 Plus portable power station. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed this journey.